Strippers and props. In this video we look at our Ambassador Marine rope cutter and explain why we think it's the best. We also look at our Brunton prop. It's the third one we've had now on 3 different boats. Before we start, I'm going to tell you, we're not sponsored by Brunton. We use their products because we think they're really good, and we've used them on 3 different boats now. The Brunton is unique in the way it works. There is no other propeller that does what it does in the way it does it. The other thing we want to tell you about is our Ambassador Marine rope stripper. And again, we're not sponsored by them. We use their products because the product works and does exactly what it says on the box. Most of the propellers that fold or feather actually have a fixed pitch, and it's this fixed pitch that you cannot change underway that lets them down. And it's this inability to be able to change the pitch underwater while underway which gives them a disadvantage. It's a compromise between power and speed. A bit like pulling away in a car. You wouldn't want to pull away in 4th gear. On the other hand, you wouldn't want to be on a high-speed road in 1st gear, and it's that compromise between gearing that makes them inefficient. Fixed blade propellers have the same inefficiency issues, and of course they don't fold, so when you're sailing they cause a lot of drag, slow you down. The Brunton, however, works differently because it pitches itself hydrodynamically and therefore has infinite variable pitch in both forward and in reverse. Under sail, the blades rotate to a feathered position, which of course reduces drag. Now there are folding props that will give you less drag. However, again, they're a compromise because the pitch is fixed. When you put a folding prop into reverse, the prop tries to fold and therefore makes it less efficient in reverse. You don't get the same power. Because of the unique way the Brunton works, you'll always get a better speed when motor sailing, as the angle of pitch is set by the speed of the boat through the water and the torque available from the engine. Now if you pause the video for a few seconds here, you can see the numbers that we got when we fitted a Brunton to Impavidus when she was new. Of course, being more efficient means that you use less fuel when you actually are motoring. You don't have to just believe me. People like Sailing Avocet, Delos and Sailing Nanji all use Brunton propellers, as well as other sailing channels. So the outdrive's now had 5 coats of anti-foul. If you're putting conventional anti-foul on, never put the same anti-foul on your outdrive as you do on your hull. The outdrive is aluminium and therefore needs a different type of anti-foul. That's the last of this one, just used it up. That's lasted about 5 or 6 years, so not bad. It came from our friends at Port Solent. Good price it was as well, all them years ago. So meanwhile, I've been anti-fouling this. Now this is our Brunton prop. We've had Bruntons before, and we're fitting a new rope cutter as well. I have to say Bruntons are a lot of money. They are a lot of money to buy, but performance wise there's no other prop that touches them. I'll give you some numbers, but basically it gives us an extra knot to a knot and a half at full RPM. It gives us better economy, probably somewhere between 10 and 15% better fuel consumption. When we sail, we put the sail drive in reverse, that locks the prop and it feathers. And of course when we go in reverse, because the blades flip the other way, we get the same power in reverse as we do in forward, and you don't get that from any other folding prop. The other thing is that because it works hydrodynamically, the pitch of the blades is set by the power of the engine and the speed of the water going over it. So even at 1500 RPM you're getting much better economy and speed for the same RPM. This is Ambassador Marine's rope cutter stripper, and it's different to all the other rope cutters you'll see. These sets of teeth here close one on each other, but if a rope gets in there, because of the shape, it gets thrown out or sliced. And whatever you do, just don't touch these because they are incredibly sharp. Now I've got a two-piece anode, and it has to have a modification. It has to be cut out here to take the bearing surfaces of the blades, and then this dowel fits in there like that, and this turns with the prop, and it's driven by these 3 M5 screws. I'll just put the new Brunton on and you'll see how it engages. It really is an amazing piece of kit. I reckon it's the best that there is on the market. Again, it's not cheap, but it does the job. Lift the Brunton on and then engage it on the, there we go, it's now engaged on the back of the prop. Actually, let me show you the back of the prop. If I pull that off a bit, a lot of shouting and screaming going on over there. You see here that the slots it engages in have actually elongated, machined out where they hit onto those screws, they latch onto the screws, and that's to give a little bit of movement on that blade, so that if you go from forward to reverse, it's not locking it up immediately. There's a little bit of give in it, which is what you want. So I'll let Cindy take the camera now. Just check that that's engaged. Yeah. This bolt gets some Loctite inside it, and then that slides down and locks the prop onto the shaft. With the Brunton kit, they actually give you the right size socket, and it's a Kennedy, a quality one, so that slides inside there. Just get it on the end. What I'm going to do is just turn it backwards until I hear it click, then I know the threads are engaged. Turn it forwards, righty-tighty. I'm just going to pinch it up for the moment because we have to torque that up to a specific torque. I can't remember what it is. I think it's 45 feet-pound. I'll check. So just leave that in there and I'll get the big torque wrench. You tell me when it gets there, Cindy. Yep. That's it. It's around there, yeah?
50. Yep. I've gone to 70 there.
Well, the shouting in the background got louder and then they started revving the crane up. So I'll do a talk through this. There's a special bolt which has got a little groove cut out of it, and you have to put some Loctite on top of it. Now, it has to be the right Loctite because this is obviously working underwater. So you need to use the 2400 Loctite. This Allen bolt then goes into the locking nut, which is quite fiddly to do, especially if you've got ball end Allen keys. This bolt's groove then lines up with another set of threaded holes, and then a smaller M5 metric bolt goes in and locks that one in position. You can just see the 3 holes inside the propeller there. With the nut and both the bolts secured in position, you can then put on the anode. Now I'd recommend that around the edges of the anode, where they intersect with the machine screws, that you actually put some anti-foul or even some black paint. That stops the anode rotting away at that point and coming off prematurely. Tightened up, bit of grease in there, to make sure it was full up. Outdrives anti-fouled. Anodes are on. Strippers, Ambassador Marine, all on, all tightened up. The only thing is, last night somebody come and stuck their fingers in me wet paint net. I had a few guys come in here fishing. There's actually one over there now. They're not really supposed to be in the yard, but you know, they're not doing any harm. But they looks like kiddies' finger marks. And I haven't got any more anti-foul. Bit of grease on there as well. But yeah, all done. So there we are. Brunton Autopop, Ambassador Marine strippers, rope cutters, and the two-piece anode with its cutout milled inside. Now we reckon this is probably the best combination of drive that you can get, and this combination is also available in a version for shaft drives. One last thing, the Brunton almost eliminates all of your prop wash. Just something else to think about. If you'd like to know more about Brunton and the strippers from Ambassador, why not pop over to svimpavidus.com, our website. There's lots of stuff on there, but if you go to the technical pages, the tabs at the top, and scroll down, you'll find there's lots of articles, including one about when we fitted our first Brunton prop and how we did this from a submerging pontoon in Gosport on the south coast of England. Well, thanks for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. The auto prop is, to us, one of the best things we've ever fitted to Impavidus, and it certainly makes a difference on the long trips that we do. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with your friends, or even think about becoming a patron, because patrons are the people that make these videos possible. And don't forget, you can always put your thoughts in the comments below. Talking of comments, before anyone says anything, we know the sound on this video isn't particularly good. We've had to try and filter out air conditioner noise, people shouting at the back of the boat, and of course the busy working yard at the end of the marina. They always seem to start exactly when we have to do sound. Hey ho. Anyway, sail safe everyone.